here with a review for Insomnia, the 2002 thriller starring Al Pacino, Robin Williams, and Hilary Swank. Set in a remote Alaskan town, two detectives from the LAPD, Will Dormer and his partner, are sent to investigate the horrible murder of a local teenage girl. However, when closing in on the suspect, Dormer's partner is shot. The elusive killer turns out to be a local mystery writer. Soon, Dormer finds himself playing a deadly cat-and-mouse game with the psychopathic writer, all the while trying to maintain his sanity as he loses sleep due to the never-ending sunlight of the Alaskan winter. The casting all around is pretty good. Al Pacino and Robin Williams play off each other very well as the detective and the psychopath. And to be more specific, Pacino is very good in the role of the cop as we slowly see him losing his mind due to the lack of sleep from the never-ending Alaskan sun. And we slowly see him trying to fight desperately to keep his sanity and his morals going, even while being outmaneuvered by the killer, who's played with brilliant subtlety by Robin. You can very much see the beginnings of his later role in 1 Hour Photo here. He's calm, he's subdued, and he plays it very straight. You never get any sort of crazy camp here or weirdness from him like he tended to do in other roles. And Hilary Swank, though she doesn't get as much to do as these two, still plays a role in the story and still pulls it off very well, providing a semblance of sanity in the increasingly strange and crazy environment that Dormer and the killer in their game set up. Stylistically, while the film doesn't have some kind of wacky design gimmick, it's rather the visual style, using the never-ending sunlight as a means of showing the slowly increasing insanity and doubts of the detective as he continues to pursue the killer, and it works brilliantly. Nolan frequently uses the sunlight as well as plenty of wide shots of the Alaskan landscape to create this sense of desolateness, this sense of loneliness, this sense of isolation, this sense of you're never going to get out of here. And it's this coldness that perfectly complements the film's chilling atmosphere and legitimately makes you feel uncomfortable as you're watching the detective try to keep himself sane despite the alien landscape all around him that seems to be trying to push him away and push him off and make him go mad, while the killer uses it to his advantage. And the score by David Julian is appropriately chilling and ethereal, creating a strangely haunting and distant atmosphere, once again complementing the cold visuals of the film. And while it lacks the memorability of, say, the score for Psycho, it still provides the tension and the atmosphere needed and creates ambiance that, much like the visuals as said before, help the film create this strange, cold unforgivingness to it, as well as a sense of weariness and wear as we see him push on against the elements. And only enhances every time we see Dormer slowly go a bit crazier and crazier and crazier as he struggles to find the killer before losing all of his respectability and sanity. And the final thing to talk about, as always, is the script. Now, of course, as mentioned earlier, the villain in the piece is a local writer. However, the film is not a whodunit, so that's not much of a spoiler. No, actually, he's revealed early on in the film. The film is focused more on the cat-and-mouse game between him and the police detective Dormer, and how Dormer is trying desperately to cope against the cold, harsh element of the Alaskan landscape, which put him to the test. Because in the beginning, we see him as a tough, no-nonsense detective who is determined to solve the case. However, when things start going wrong, when his partner gets killed, when the killer starts to outsmart him and manipulate him, then things really get going, and it becomes very tense. And you really are on the edge of your seat, like a good thriller should be. And all the while, there's a chill going down your spine due to Nolan's brilliant use of the surrounding area, given the coldness of the landscape as well as the constant sunlight. And we slowly see this wear on Dormer as he tries desperately to fight it and tries desperately to go to sleep, doing all kinds of things, but of course none of them work. And slowly throughout the film, we see him just become less and less able to think straight. And it creates a very uneasy effect, which perfectly complements the film and puts the hero in a extremely weak position, as well as making the villain look much smarter since he's using the landscape, not just silly gimmicks to weaken the detective. The pacing is razor sharp, the scenes move well from one to another without any sort of padding or silliness, and when the cinematography again has to show off the landscape, it doesn't feel as if it intrudes or it's there to show off production value. It feels like it's part of the story, and it contributes to the desolation as we slowly see the cop go mad as he tries to fight the elements. And that's the thing, this whole thing of him losing sleep and fighting the elements is not tacked on, it's not some silly gimmick, it's actually integral to the story as implied by the title, and it works so well. Nolan uses this to great effect here, and you see it just eat away at the detective's pride and stamina, and he slowly becomes more and more dreary-eyed and droopy and slow as the film progresses, while the killer never relents. And in fact, Robin is not seen that often throughout the film. Most of the time it's through phone calls, which are very chilling, and you'd be surprised at how intimidating Robin Williams can be with just his voice. Testament to what a great actor he is and how well he works with Pacino. And so I must give Insomnia, The Only Thing It Deserves, a gold star. This has to be one of the most unique thrillers I've seen in a while. The use of the constant sunlight and coldness help set this apart and create an uneasy atmosphere. Couple that with solid pacing, great performances, good music, and an overall cold atmosphere make this one of the most highly recommendable thrillers out there.